What's the biggest family secret you never meant to find? I was cleaning out my grandpa's attic after he passed when I found this old wooden box hidden behind some dusty Christmas decorations. It had my dad's name carved into it, which stopped me in my tracks because my dad died when I was 2, and Grandpa never ever talked about him. The box looked like it hadn't been touched in decades, covered in dust so thick I could write my name in it. Inside were letters, hundreds of them, all addressed to me, each one carefully dated for different moments in my life. Birthdays, holidays, my first day of school, even one for my high school graduation. The paper had yellowed with age, but Dad's handwriting was bold and clear, like he'd written them yesterday. My dad had written all of these before he died, knowing he wouldn't be there to say these things in person. But my grandpa had never given me a single one. I sat there in the stuffy attic for hours, surrounded by piles of letters, reading through them one by one. Dad wrote about how proud he'd be watching me grow up, gave advice about dealing with bullies and first crushes, told these incredibly cheesy dad jokes that made me laugh and cry at the same time. He wrote about his favorite memories with Mom, described what their wedding day was like, and shared family stories I'd never heard before. In the last letter, dated just 3 days before he died, he explained everything. His hands must have been shaking because the writing was different, more urgent. He had been diagnosed with a rare genetic heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. The doctors told him he wouldn't live past 30, so he wrote these letters to make sure I'd still have a piece of him growing up. But here's the part that made my blood run cold. The condition was hereditary, passed down through families like a ticking time bomb. There was a 50% chance I had it too. I confronted my grandpa's wife that same night, still covered in attic dust, holding the letters in trembling hands. She broke down immediately, tears streaming down her wrinkled face as she told me the truth. They had hidden the letters and the entire medical history because they were terrified of losing me too. After watching my dad die so young, they couldn't bear the thought of me growing up knowing I might have the same fate. They thought if I knew, I'd live in fear like my dad did in his final years. I went to get tested the very next morning, barely sleeping the night before. The results came back positive 1 week later. But here's the thing, because we caught it early, before any symptoms showed up, the doctors said they could treat it with medication and surgery, the very same condition that took my dad's life at 30. I found out about it at 23, all because of those hidden letters. Now I read one letter each night before bed, keeping them in chronological order like chapters in a book. Sometimes I laugh at his jokes, sometimes I cry at his hopes for my future, but I always feel him there with me. And every time I visit the doctor for my treatment, I carry his last letter in my pocket, worn soft from being unfolded and refolded so many times. The secret that was meant to protect me almost killed me, but somehow my dad reached through time and saved my life 7 years after his death.